She arrived in Nigeria on a Tuesday afternoon, when the sun hung low and unforgiving, the kind of sun that exposes everything it touches. People noticed her immediately, not because she tried to be noticed, but because she looked like she had stepped out of another world and landed by mistake in this one. She was tall, graceful. Her skin glowed softly, untouched by the struggles etched into the faces around her. Her accent rolled foreign when she asked for directions. And yet, as her shoes touched Nigerian soil for the first time in her life, her body reacted before her mind did. Her heart skipped. Her stomach tightened. And for a brief moment, just a brief moment, she felt like someone had called her name from deep underground. Her name was Amora Kingsley. Born in the United Kingdom. Raised among cold streets, glass buildings, and busy lives that moved too fast to ask questions. Nigeria had never been home to her, only a word her mother spoke with mixed emotions. Love. Fear. Regret. Amora had come to Nigeria seeking peace. She didn't say it out loud, but she believed the land of her father would quiet the noise in her head. London had become unbearable. Sleep had turned into a battlefield. Every night came with memories she refused to name. She told herself this trip was just a visit. A reset. A break. But some journeys are not chosen. They are summoned. On the drive to her late father's village, the road stretched endlessly, red dust rising like smoke behind the car. The driver was unusually quiet. At one point, he slowed down suddenly and muttered something under his breath. Amora asked what was wrong. He hesitated, then said softly, "Madam, some people return home, but home does not welcome them the same way." She laughed, uneasy. "Home doesn't know me," she said. The driver glanced at her in the mirror. "Home always knows," he replied. Her father's house stood at the edge of the village, old but stubborn, as if it had been waiting with patience that only land possesses. As Amora stepped inside, the air felt heavier than outside, thick with something unnamed. The door closed behind her on its own. Not gently. Firmly. She froze. A chill ran through her body despite the heat. She told herself it was imagination. Jet lag. Stress. That night, sleep came late, and when it came violently. She dreamed she was standing in a long white hallway. The walls were spotless. The smell of chemicals filled the air. She heard footsteps behind her but couldn't turn around. Then she heard crying. Not loud. Not soft. Just persistent. She woke up gasping for air, her heart pounding as if it wanted to escape her chest. Her nightdress clung to her body, soaked in sweat. She placed a hand on her stomach, trembling. "Not again," she whispered. The next morning, she stood before the mirror to steady herself. As she stared at her reflection, something felt off. Her eyes looked tired. Older. She blinked. Her reflection blinked a second later. Before she could react, a thin crack appeared down the center of the mirror, splitting her image into two uneven halves. No sound. No warning. Amora stumbled backward, breath caught in her throat. Outside, the village stirred awake. Women whispered as she passed. Children stopped playing to watch her. A dog barked furiously at her shadow. An old man sitting under a tree shook his head slowly. "She walks like someone who left something behind," he murmured. Amora pretended not to hear, but her steps quickened. By the third night, the dreams returned, clearer this time. Sharper. She saw herself in London, sitting in a quiet clinic. No windows. Soft music playing. A doctor's voice calm and professional. "This is the best option," the voice said. She remembered signing the paper. Remembered the coldness of the room. Remembered the relief she felt afterward. And then, emptiness. She woke up crying. This time, there was blood. Not a flood. Not dramatic. Just enough to make her hands shake as she stared at it. She rushed to the nearest clinic. Tests were done. Results came back clean. "You're fine," the doctor said. But Amora wasn't fine. The bleeding returned the next day. And the next. At the market, an old woman suddenly grabbed her wrist. Her fingers were dry and cold, stronger than they looked. "You crossed water to hide," the woman said quietly. "But water does not wash away blood." Amora pulled free, panic rising in her chest. "What are you talking about?" she demanded. The woman leaned closer. "What you refused to carry has found its way home." That night, Amora finally broke. She told her aunt everything. The affair. The pregnancy. The choice she made abroad. The silence she wrapped around it. Her aunt didn't shout. She didn't curse her. She only cried. "This land has rules older than planes," she said. "Some actions don't wait for forgiveness. They demand acknowledgement." That night, Amara felt a pull she couldn't resist. Barefoot, shaking, she followed it into the forest. Each step felt guided. There, hidden among roots and shadows, stood a broken shrine. At its center lay a small clay figure, unfinished, cracked. Her name was scratched into it. She collapsed. By morning, the elders had gathered. They listened. They spoke calmly. "Life taken without honor must be remembered," one said. "Not with death, but with truth." That night, under the full moon, Amora knelt on bare earth. She confessed everything out loud. Every fear. Every excuse. Every lie she told herself. She cried until her voice failed. When dawn came, the bleeding stopped. The dream stopped. But Amora stayed. She didn't return abroad. She built something from her pain. She warned others. She carried the memory she once tried to erase. Because some lands don't punish quickly. They wait. And when they speak so you never forget. And after everything, the elders prayed for her, and she was cleansed again. Amora sighed and remembered all that has happened to her over, so she decided not to return back, so she stays in her father's land and begins to enjoy the nature and the fruits of the land, and Amma fell in love again and she starts a new fresh life again. And after everything, the elders prayed for her, and she was cleansed again. Amora sighed and remembered all that has happened to her over, so she decided not to return back, so she stays in her father's land and begins to enjoy the nature and the fruits of the land, and Amma fell in love again and she starts a new fresh life again.